Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Pirro with Crisis Services. And today I have some wonderful guests that have joined me to share their story about their not only their talent as musicians, but the connection to Crisis Services. So I just want to introduce David Bailey and also Nola Ranallo. Who are both musicians from Cages. And they've recently had a release that just came out on July 30th, a record and digital album of a performance that they did back in August of 2019. So we wanted to talk a little bit about the journey to that performance and also this recording, and also really highlight kind of the story behind it. So Nola and David, it's so, first of all, so good to see you, but I want to thank you so much for joining me today to kind of share this story out with our crisis services community. So Nola, can you just share what led to you creating this event that was recorded and just released?
Yeah. So on May 8th, 2018, I took my own life after feeling that there was no better escape from an abusive relationship I was in for, I think it was nearly 2 years or over 2 years. I was placed in a medically induced coma. I was actually clinically dead. They restarted my heart, so I experienced cardiac arrest. So my heart stopped. I was intubated. I was on life support for up to a week, and my body was cooled down in a hypothermic state. They slowly woke me back up from my coma. They said I may not walk or talk again. I may not be an independent person, be able to live independently. And every day in the hospital, I made leaps in my recovery. And I was released from the hospital June 5th. So I was there May 8th to June 5th. And I went back working 7 weeks after my injury. And ultimately, that wasn't appropriate for me. And I'm exploring other avenues to support myself. But we came up with the idea of a world in song because it was the music that I heard in my death experience. And I shared that with Dave, my best friend and band member, probably in like late June, early July 2018, that I had experienced a death experience, and there was a tunnel, and there was figures of light, and there was all sounds, and the figures of light were singing, and it ultimately was a beautiful musical experience, and it changed me forever when I crossed over to whatever world that was. And when I told Dave about that, I think we both felt compelled to make the music from this experience, but also do something positive with what I had went through, and do it in a way that was sort of natural to me and him and all of our friends and family, which is through music, and to sort of to rebuild my actual speech and my voice I did that through music. So I think that it was sort of a way to heal myself as well as do something positive with what I went through.
Absolutely. And it's amazing story that you've experienced, and then the recovery from your singing helped in your healing as well. So David, I know you and Nola are such great friends, and as her friend, why was this so important for her, but also for you to do this project and be a part of this?
It was important to do it because I had known Nola for many years previously to this incident, and I knew all the good that was capable of being expressed from her and what she's done and the person that she was. And it was difficult to see what the toll of an abusive relationship could do to someone. especially someone who was creative and caring and sensitive. And when this happened, there was not a lot of hope that um, she would have gotten out of this. And
Mhm.
through a very, kind of unique set of circumstances, she did get out of the coma, and she did begin to make such an incredibly speedy rehabilitation to the point where she is now. So we felt that, we're just, two simple folk, but we were able to do music, and we felt that that's something we felt very capable of doing. And we felt that what better way to express this story, uh, and to show, this as a signpost for her recovery, and, to mark something that can go on further than that, was then to set up a big musical event, which would include all the people that were associated with the help during this time that she needed. A lot of people we've known throughout the country through music, um, provided so much support and so much help and so much care and concern for her, that we wanted to include them, but also be able to put it back out into the open, that anyone could attend this and hopefully get something from this experience. And if they themselves were in trouble or in pain, or knew someone who could, or who was in that situation, that they could possibly do something to help that situation out.
Yeah, yeah. I was just so honored to be there and witness this experience for you both. But for you, Nola, just to see the stages of your recovery and your journey. And I know that this performance was a big step forward, because it was also sharing your story that maybe others didn't know the full understanding of what had happened. So I know that was a big step for you when you decided to do this project. So I know we first got to know each other, I think it was back in December or so of 2018, when you started to think about this project and plan this project. And connecting it to crisis services, I thought was a real kind of beautiful connection. So can you just maybe share, either one of you or both of you, the connection of why you thought it would be good to have crisis services involved, and how we were helpful for you as you kind of went through this process?
Well, do you want to go?
No, you go.
Oh, yeah. It was.
You go
It was.
first.
I'll go first. It was very helpful, because when everything happened, and afterwards everything happened, there was no system of support. It was Nola and her friends and her family, and that was it. There was a lot of very convoluted things from the hospital and from uh, any other organization she was affiliated with. So beyond just people trying to support as best they could, we didn't know what to do. So when we found an organization that dealt with these things, and dealt with assisting people's recovery, it was a huge blessing. Then we met you. It was an even bigger blessing, because of how fantastic you were and how welcoming and caring you were to both of us. And crisis services, and especially Jessica Pirro personally, were so supportive of us, that I don't know if we could have done it without that. And the fact that they were able to send this message out to other people, and also just to help Nola with getting her in contact with people that could help her throughout this time up until this performance, with her own recovery in different aspects of it, was just monumental to what we did.
It definitely, having crisis services involved in the performance, and having you, Jessica Pirro, come and be there and support, it made it even more impactful and powerful. And it also gave me a more solid platform to deliver the message out. It was more powerful if we sort of unified
Right.
our worlds together.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think too, for what you went through, both with the domestic violence and abuse, and then your suicide attempt, I mean, these are the day-to-day experiences that we're working with people in our community. And so it brings your story, of the trauma you experience, but also the ability to recover from such a traumatic experience. And but the journey continues, right? The journey of that healing continues. So what are some messages that you could share, to those that are listening, of hope, or just an understanding of really what that journey kind of feels like and looks like as you continue on in your healing?
Yeah, just that without the support of others, it's very easy to slip in between the cracks. So people need to continue to support each other and have compassion for each other and listen to each other. And I do have a disability now, but I don't allow it to disable me. And I think I see my ability to expand and grow. And I say very often that I am like my plants that I have in my garden. And every day I move my plants, I rotate them and I water them and I nourish them. But every day they need something different to like grow. And I feel like I'm the same way. As I regrow physically and mentally. Physically, I'm regrowing neural pathways because I have TBI, and mentally, I'm dealing with a multitude of past trauma. But I don't focus on things disabling me or taking from my beautiful future that I have in front of me, and using like the record as a further way to reach others in corners of the world maybe we never thought that we could reach without the help of Iron Lung Records.
Right, absolutely. David, is there any messages that you'd like to share or kind of hope that you've taken from this experience that others might benefit from?
This was a positively life-changing experience for me in many ways, and in many ways that I haven't even fully realized yet. And just the fact that we were able to encapsulate a tiny portion of it and be able to present that to people, I feel is very important. And everyone involved, there were so many people involved with it since the inception of it, and everybody contributed to the totality of it. And now there's something that we can put back out there for people to experience, and hopefully have a change, begin to take root within them if they'd like to, embrace that.
Right.
And this is unfortunately something that probably happens far more than people know, and it gets not the attention it deserves. And also the idea of mental health and domestic abuse are things that maybe don't seem to have an easy answer, which they don't, as we experience, Nola and I experience personally. But there is hope, and this is a proof of a huge hope that was created by people working together and coming together in compassion. And I just feel I'm very grateful to be a part of it. I'm grateful for everyone to do it, and I feel very proud to have this document here, this record, which can be sent out and people can experience it too, even if they weren't there that night.
Yeah. Can you share where people could get the digital download or how they could access getting the album?
The website is ironlungpv.bandcamp.com, and that's the record label that released it. And you can go there and you can purchase the vinyl LP,
Okay,
or you can purchase a digital download at that site.
that's great.
But there's also ironlungrecords.bigcartel.com.
Yeah, both
So
of those work.
A multitude of ways.
Yeah, and we will
And
definitely.
it's available on all streaming services too.
Oh, great. Okay, so
Spotify and things like that.
that's great. We'll share too when we post this interview. We'll also share that in the comments too, so that people can have the links, because there's a couple different ways to access it. But yeah, I mean, I think that it really just this experience is the journey that you've been through, and but the different milestones through that journey, and really the role as survivor that you are now sitting in is really such a powerful place. And I think your message and also the message of how friends and supporters really do help us heal and kind of take those steps forward, and especially the encouragement sometimes to take those steps forward when we don't feel like doing it, I think is really a testament to your friendship and your support of each other through this experience as well. So anything else you want to share out with the community as they're learning about this release and also this amazingly powerful story of Nola's experience?
I just think I want people to know that their life is so precious, and you you hold the power of what you're going to do with your life, and what you do now could affect the future. So that's why it's important to think about even the thoughts you're thinking in your head. um, Everything you do, I truly believe now, after what I've been through, there's a collective energy, and there's something going on behind everything that we see. It's not so straightforward. And I think that if we could somehow start with ourselves and start with our thoughts and our centering our own energy, we could really positively influence each other and create a better future for everyone.
Absolutely.
And that people, like, you really can change your life, but that doesn't mean it's gonna be easy, and it's a lot of work, but you can change everything about your life that is negative. And that really only can be done by the acceptance, love, and encouragement of people around you. So that's how
Absolutely.
this all was created, is because of the love and friendship of everyone involved in this performance in the community that we all have for each other.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I think I just want to share too that the role that crisis services can play for people, as you said, is having support. And sometimes, you know, we don't know who to go to for that support, but we could be there for you as that first step in calling our 24-hour hotline, which is 834-3131, and maybe even help you to figure out the words to share with other people, you know, because that can be that scary step of even voicing how you're really feeling or the thoughts that you're having. So it is just your story is just so powerful and so amazing, and showing that there is healing, there's recovery, and you can become a survivor from the abuse and the impacts that you dealt with for several years. And we're just so thrilled, first of all, that you're here and that you're with us, and the story that you'll carry on forward through your music and your relationships is really something that will have an impact on many people who see this and hear your music. I know I met, you know, just meeting the two of you had an impact on me, but the night of that performance was just something I'll never forget. So I do want to thank you for allowing me to be part of this and to be part of your lives as you kind of work through this experience and your healing and recovery process. So thank you both for that. And again, our 24-hour hotline is 834-3131, and we will share all the links of how to access this beautiful release of music that really could maybe help other people in their healing process and maybe take that first step. So David and Nola, thank you so much again for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Jessica. We were very honored to have you a part of that night, and for you to speak and talk was really very incredible too. So we wanted to thank you again for that.
Thank you.
Yeah,